Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today I've got a brand new exciting episode and we're going to be deep diving into 12 upcoming 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray releases that were sent to me early for review. I can tell you these are some exciting 4K and Blu-ray releases. I'm going to dive into each and every one of these and tell you my review scores, all the testing data, and what the sum up total quality of each and every one of these releases are in today's massive video. Now today's video I'm going to be doing something slightly different. Due to my ongoing severe chronic pain and trigeminal neuralgia that I live with, I've had some issues with my health lately that have gotten worse as far as the pain goes, and then obviously that causes more severe nausea and exhaustion. So as you've probably noticed over the last several weeks, I've had to cut back on the amount of content I've been able to film and release due to the massive increase in pain, which then causes the nausea, and it just really causes a massive toll on my health and my body. And it's something that I've just been struggling with for years now. I mean, as most of you know that have followed me here on my channel, you know, I've been dealing with this for over 8 years almost now, and it's something that it's not going away, and as time goes on, the pain gets worse because it's degenerative pain and nerve damage. So it is one of those things I just learned to cope with more and more as time goes on, but I am going to be doing in today's video a more condensed version of each of my reviews. I've tried to focus on the things that are the most important to everyone, the data, the testing, and then obviously my review scores that sum up the total quality to let you know the quality of each and every one of these. But this is simply due to all of these health issues that I've been dealing with that are really just wearing me down and making me exhausted from the pain. So I'm trying to condense a little bit more of the work to give you the same content, but in a more condensed format in this video. So I do hope that you understand that I'm working as hard as I possibly can, and I put my heart and soul into this channel and every video I create. But with that comes a toll on my health that a lot of you don't see, but it's something that I live with and my family sees, that it wears me down. So I have to kind of find a balance somewhere. So in this case, I'm doing all of these 12 massive advanced reviews in one video in a more condensed format to get you the content you need to let you know if these are something worth buying and adding to your collection, or if some of these you should skip. And let me tell you, there are some of these you should skip. Now, it's always extremely important if you decide you're going to buy or add any of these to your collection after you get done watching each of my reviews. Always go down and use those direct Amazon sale links I've posted as a pinned comment in the comment section right below this video. Those links down there never cost you, the viewer, even a penny extra when you click on them, but they do drastically help to support the creation of these videos, and that's the only way I can always continue to do this for years to come. I'm not sponsored or paid by any of these studios that send things for review, and the only way I can always do this and stay independent is through you, my viewers and subscribers support, by using those direct Amazon sale links right down there below. So if this content has helped you out and you've enjoyed it over the years, always make sure to go down and use those direct Amazon sale links right down there below. Now to start off with, we're going to be talking about Bob Marley One Love here for a second. I wanted to talk about my thoughts on the film here just for a brief second to let you know what's unique about this film. It was one of those I did not get to see in cinemas originally. Now, I won't say I was super excited to watch it, but here's the interesting thing. It actually surprised me at how good it was and how much my wife and I were really engaged in the story that we did not expect. And here's why. The actual story itself is really a story about forgiveness and faith and sticking to values and things that you've learned over your lifetime and doing what's right even if it's in a very hard and tough circumstance, even if your life is threatened. And it's a very surprisingly good story. And I was very surprised, and so was my wife. We sat there and at first we were kind of like, you know, oh, it's not going to be that good. You kind of had that preset opinion. And then we started watching it, and me being a man of faith and my family, we actually found a lot of things that were very good in it. It does talk about his faith, about the things he learned, but then also the drastic story of really truly forgiving somebody and moving on. And the story is extremely beautiful. It's well written, it's well acted, and the music in it is very good as well. And I will tell you, this is one of those films, regardless of whether you get the 4K or the Blu-ray, the film itself is highly recommended and was a very enjoyable biopic film. Now, for the film Bob Marley One Love, it did come out in 2024. This is a native 4K 2160p, and it does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. And I will tell you, between the Dolby Vision and HDR10, there was only about a 5% variance, so not a massive difference. I will tell you the Dolby Vision just had a slight one up in color tones and skin tones. Otherwise, both of them lend to the absolutely pristine 4K image. There was no issues with digital noise, banding, blocking, no technical issues whatsoever with this absolutely beautiful 4K transfer. The 4K image has very nice depth and detail that is very pronounced in the 4K release versus the Blu-ray transfer. The Blu-ray transfer is quite a bit softer of a transfer. It lacks a lot of the very nice skin tones and colors that you'll notice on the 4K release because of that very good Dolby Vision and HDR10 implementation. By far, the 4K release annihilates the Blu-ray release in every area of the image. But the good news doesn't stop there. For this upcoming 4K release, Paramount did another nice treat. We get a very immersive, very strong, and crystal clear Dolby Atmos audio mix. I can tell you the music was wonderful on it. It sounded amazing using the height channels, especially like when there's numerous scenes, like when he's in concerts and you can hear the crowd around him, but you can hear the music coming from the front on the stage, and then using the height channels in unique ways. I will tell you it has amazing bass and some really good LFE. I was very impressed with the very immersive and very enjoyable Dolby Atmos audio mix. Paramount did an outstanding job on that. Now, this is the upcoming limited edition SteelBook release. I can tell you it is a very glossy and very colorful limited edition SteelBook. I loved the artwork on this. I actually think the artwork on this is miles better than the artwork on the slipcover standard edition. Now, if you want either one of them, I'll put the links for both of them down there below, but keep in mind, this limited edition SteelBook set will sell out. On the side of it, it does say Bob Marley One Love. Then you have your J card, which does include over 50 minutes of bonus features inside this set. Deleted scenes, extended scenes, behind the scenes, the original story and music of Bob Marley, behind the scenes, even with Bob Marley's interviews included in this. I really enjoyed the special features as well. And then on the back, it does have a very nice saying, sometimes the messenger has to become the message. And I really did like that as well. Very nice artwork on the SteelBook. Then when you get inside here, artwork on the inside of the SteelBook, and then you have your 4K disc, 100% region free, and your Blu-ray disc with your Blu-ray transfer and your Blu-ray special features. Now, I did dive into the rough average bitrate. I'm happy to report this has a healthy and strong 67 megabits per second. Lends to why it has such a nice image from beginning to end. Now getting to my review score. For Bob Marley One Love in this upcoming 4K Ultra HD release, this gets a beautiful 9.4. It's a must buy. You'll want to buy and add to your collection. Depending on whether you want the standard release that comes with a slipcover, I'll put the direct link for that down there from Amazon, as well as the limited edition SteelBook. Limited edition SteelBook for me was the way to go if you're a collector and you like collecting limited edition SteelBooks. You'll also want to watch my recent how to protect all of your slipcovers, all of your SteelBooks and 4K cases and Blu-ray sets. I did a video here on this channel that dives into an amazing deal I discovered after buying from over 10 different retailers all of the SteelBook and slipcover protectors and testing them out to find the best quality and the best value and bang for your buck. In that video, I go through all of it, as well as giving the direct link for the deal I discovered, and it makes it so that way you can protect all of your limited edition slipcovers, even the Bob Marley slipcover set that comes with a limited edition slipcover, or your limited edition SteelBooks for only 60 cents. It's an amazing deal. You'll want to watch that video. It's available right now on this channel. I do recommend Bob Marley's One Love. It's a must buy. You're going to want to buy and add to your collection. If you're going to buy it though, make sure to use that direct Amazon sale link down there below. Next up, we have Kung Fu Panda 4. This is the ongoing CGI animated series. This is going in a slightly new direction than the first Kung Fu Panda films. Now, this is one of those series that I do really enjoy. I can tell you this continues the amazing animation style and the hilarious comedy style of Jack Black that's included in this series. This film is no slouch in any shape or form, and I actually enjoyed it even more so than some of the previous Kung Fu Panda films, which did surprise me. Now, this is coming out in about a week from now from when I release this review. It was sent to me 2 weeks early for review. This is a collector's edition 4K set. It does include exclusive shorts and bonuses and behind the scenes features that are in this set. Now, I can tell you this 4K transfer does have Dolby Vision and HDR10, and the Dolby Vision layer is roughly 10% better colors overall than the HDR10. So you will notice the Dolby Vision does have quite a bit one up over the HDR10. Both of them though do look immaculate. I will tell you the image on this, there is no issues whatsoever from beginning to end. It is a very immaculate looking image. Beautiful colors. The CGI animation is very detailed on this and is a massive upgrade over the original Kung Fu Panda because time has come and gone, and you will notice that the animation style and how much more depth they can put in those files has advanced massively over when I originally reviewed Kung Fu Panda, the first film that has come out on 4K. That review is available right now on this channel as well if you have not checked that out yet, but I did review the first Kung Fu Panda film on 4K. Universal released the first one, and the fourth one is coming out. I can tell you Universal has plans to release the other Kung Fu Panda films in individual 4K releases over the next 2 years. They're planning to release the Kung Fu Panda 2 next year. The year after that, they're planning to release Kung Fu Panda 3 on 4K. So eventually, in the next, 3 to 4 years, we'll have the entire set of Kung Fu Panda films on 4K. I can tell you though, this 4K is stunningly beautiful from beginning to end. The animation on this and the amount of advancements they've had from the first Kung Fu Panda film are very impressive. And I will tell you, even like the detail on his fur is very good looking. Now, for this 4K release, it does have inky blacks, brilliant whites, no black crush whatsoever, which lends to why this animated film in some areas, because of the 4K image and how the HDR is implemented, can give your mind almost a 3D-like effect, like looking out a glass window is how pristine this actually looks. But the good news doesn't stop there. We also get a very immersive Dolby Atmos audio mix. It's very impressive, strong, clean, and crystal clear. It has very good use of the height channels throughout the film. Numerous things you will hear going overhead, going around you. It has some very good LFE as well. And it does a very good job of immersing you into the film and is a very enjoyable and strong Dolby Atmos audio mix that lends to why this is such a good 4K release. Now, show you what you get in this. This is your cover, your side, the back. It talks about your bonus features, including the exclusive original short, Dueling Dumplings, deleted scenes, Talking Kung Fu, meet the cast, behind the scenes, and the special features go on and on. There is a massive amount of special features, and they are all very enjoyable. Inside here, you do get your Blu-ray disc and your 4K. Both are region free. No issues playing them whatsoever anywhere worldwide. And I will tell you though, the 4K release does blow away the Blu-ray release. That Dolby Vision and HDR10 implementation make massive strides, as well as the 4K transfer has much more depth and detail than the Blu-ray does. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate for all of you. I am happy to report this has an extremely high, healthy and strong 81 megabits per second, another wow experience from Universal, giving an extremely high rough average bitrate. Lends to why the image looks so darn pristine. Now, getting to my review score for Kung Fu Panda 4 and this upcoming 4K Collector's Edition release, this gets a superb 9.3. It's a must buy. You need to buy, add to your collection, and enjoy this film for many years to come. If you like any of the previous DreamWorks animated films, Shrek, I've reviewed those on this channel. Puss in Boots, I've reviewed those on this channel. The previous Kung Fu Pandas, you've got to have this one in your collection. It's another fantastic CGI film from DreamWorks. They do a really good job, and for me, I personally think they've overtaken Disney's basically animation style as far as I like DreamWorks animated films more than most of Disney's. Heck, Wish, which was the last one Disney released, I didn't enjoy that at all. I just think Disney's lost a lot of the magic for their more modern animated films, and I like the classic ones, but their more modern ones like Wish, I don't enjoy at all. Thankfully, DreamWorks has stepped in and constantly provides outstanding stories, music, animation, and comedy, which is replacing what Disney used to do. DreamWorks has taken the stand as my favorite animation studio for modern animated films. Great job, Universal, with this upcoming 4K release. This is another must-buy with a superb 9.3. If you're going to buy this and add this to your collection, make sure to use that direct Amazon sale link right down there below. Now, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to go down and give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you're notified right away whenever I release any of these advanced exclusive reviews, so that way you never miss out on getting to know about any of these exciting releases as soon as possible. So make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Next up, we have the 2002 film NARC. Now, for this 4K release, it is a native 4K with both Dolby Vision and HDR10 Master, and Arrow Video did work directly with Paramount Studios and the original director Joe Carnahan himself. And this 4K is created from a brand new 4K scan of the 35mm original camera negative. It was supervised and approved by Joe Carnahan himself. I can tell you for this 4K release, the film grain is very present in it, though it does have slight fluctuations and inconsistencies throughout the film. It's not a perfectly stable film grain experience. Along with that, there is some digital noise that you will encounter randomly throughout it that mixes with the film grain, and you will notice some very slight digital blocking that you mostly notice the digital noise. The digital blocking is slight. Digital noise is slightly more. But the image is very nice from beginning to end. Even with those slight inconsistencies and issues, I did still enjoy it. But there is a slight issue with how it was originally filmed with camera lenses and filters, and specifically colored filters, that affects how it appears in this 4K transfer. And based on how they did it, it does cause some slight issues in some scenes, especially where they have side-by-side images that do appear slightly soft, almost, I would say, lower HD quality in some scenes, and then in other scenes it's very, very nicely detailed, strong depth and detail. Because of the different elements and how they filmed and created it in 2002, some of those don't transfer as well into a 4K image, and they stand out a little bit more. They're not something that they can technically fix without ever going back and refilming it and changing how it was originally finished. Those are all present. It's still going to be that way on this transfer, and that's why it's that way, because originally when they filmed it that way, some of those side-by-sides and the way that they did it digitally and then put it into the film, and then how they created them, it caused an issue with those to look softer and not detailed, and you'll notice those do stand out. So you do notice the image slightly fluctuates between, you'll have some really nice depth and detail to some images that are softer, don't look as much depth and detail, to some images that have some digital noise and film grain fluctuations. So overall, it's not the best Arrow Video transfer that I've tested and reviewed. It's good and enjoyable, and I do like having it, and I do think because it skipped Blu-ray in the US at least, this is the best way that we're ever going to own this film. This is a more niche title that I don't see ever getting released or ever getting touched on ever again. This is one of those Joe Carnahan films that I really enjoy, though. If you've checked this channel out and watched my videos here for a while, you'll know that I love Boss Level and that I love Cop Shop. All of those are Joe Carnahan films as well, and they are very good. I've reviewed them on this channel in 4K. They are available on 4K, and I've really enjoyed those. This is another one of his films that I really enjoy. He does a very gritty style. It's a very slick crime drama thriller that is very good as far as the film goes. Now, Arrow Video did provide another unique thing on this. They did give us a Dolby Atmos audio mix on it. It's enjoyable, but I'll be honest with you, it does not have amazing range. It doesn't use the height channels consistently, and it's not very immersive. It's more or less kind of just like a good 5.1 audio mix. It does not sound like really a Dolby Atmos mix normally would. It's just more or less, in my sense, a 5.1 with some slight use of the height channels, but you really have to kind of pay attention to notice when those are being used. So overall, it kind of goes with the visual style of it. It's an upgrade over, obviously, the old DVDs in a massive way, but it's just the Dolby Atmos is not reference quality and it's not super immersive. It's good, but not amazing. Now, showing what you get in this limited edition 4K release. It does come with spot gloss on the slipcover. On the side, it does say NARC and spot gloss as well. Then on the back, it talks about it. It is a limited edition release only here. It does come with your 4K disc as well as your Blu-ray disc, which has special features on it, behind the scenes, commentaries, introduction by Joe Carnahan himself, talks about the film, and you get a ton of bonus goodies. Now in here, you do get your booklet and your poster. 4K disc is 100% region free. That has your movie on it. Blu-ray disc has a bunch of your special features on it. Now the booklet in here does have a nice essay on it, talks about the film, has behind the scenes pictures on it. I do really enjoy these. They added the collectability of these limited edition sets. And then you do get your two-sided poster, which has the new artwork on it as well. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate for you. I'm very happy to report it has a shockingly high, healthy, and extremely strong 89 megabits per second. So they didn't overcompress it, they gave it plenty of room to breathe on the 4K disc. And it does help the image, though, like I said, you will encounter all of those various things just simply due to some of the ways it was originally filmed and finished. And then also with the ways that obviously the digital noise and things that you'll encounter throughout it. Now, getting to my review score. For NARC in this limited edition 4K release, this gets a good 8.8. As I said, the review score sums it up and lets you know exactly what you're getting image and sound quality. I do feel like the Dolby Atmos mix could have been worked on a whole lot more to provide a very immersive experience, like what Arrow Video has done on numerous previous 4K releases. This is by far the weakest Dolby Atmos mix I've ever heard. Honestly, compared to hundreds of other Dolby Atmoses I've tested and reviewed here on this channel, this one has the weakest Dolby Atmos mix. Very similar to just a good 5.1 audio mix. And that lends to why image, sound quality, and those issues I did encounter when I was testing this gets a good 8.8. That lets you know the total quality of this. I do recommend it because it's never been released on Blu-ray in the US at all. This is the way I would watch it, obviously, because I don't think we're ever going to get anything better than this for this more of a niche crime drama film. I'm surprised we even got this at all. And this is one of those I'm glad to have in my collection, but now going into it, you know the quality of what you can expect for it. So now you won't be shocked when you watch it. You'll know exactly what you're getting from the release, and it's good. It's just not amazing. Now, make sure to start the conversation in the comments section below and let me know what from this massive review video that I spent 2.5 weeks working on that you're excited to buy and add to your collection. What of these you're excited to have and watch? Let me know if you're going to be buying NARC. If you decide you're buying any of these, always make sure to use those links down there. But start the conversation down in the comments section and let me know what of all of these from this big review video you're excited about now. Have you seen a lot of these films? Let me know what of these films you saw originally in cinemas and what of these you're excited to add and watch now on 4K. Next up, we have Crimson Peak from 2015. This is the Guillermo del Toro gothic horror mystery film that is severely good. And it grows on me the more and more I watch it. The set designs, the gothic set pieces really just give you that really good feeling that is really hard to replicate. This film I love the more I watch it. Now, this new 4K transfer was created from the digital intermediate with brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 color grading and master, both supervised and approved by Guillermo del Toro himself. He oversaw this to make sure this presented and represented exactly how his intended vision was. And I can tell you that's where you will notice a big difference in image versus the previous Blu-ray release because of what he specifically did, colors, and with the great implementation of Dolby Vision and HDR10. Now I can tell you there was a substantial difference between the Dolby Vision and HDR10 layers in that the Dolby Vision had an easy 10% better color tones and overall color appearance and depth over the HDR10. You can notice much better skin tones and colors on that Dolby Vision layer than you did on the HDR10, but both of them, I will say, are the biggest improvement over the previous Blu-ray release in the image. That is where you will notice a massive difference is because of how well they implemented the brilliant whites, inky blacks, no black crush, is where that Blu-ray is such a drastic difference. It lends to why it adds to this gothic horror mystery experience and really does make it a worthwhile upgrade and a worthwhile admission for that HDR10 and Dolby Vision implementation alone, regardless of the rest of it. Audio, just the actual Dolby Vision and HDR10 color grading and implementation he did for it that Guillermo del Toro oversaw and approved himself. It is the nicest viewing experience of Crimson Peak I have ever seen. And as I said, I've watched this numerous times on the previous Arrow Video Blu-ray release, and I enjoyed it. But I was very surprised at how good of a job they implemented it on this. And it makes it almost, in some areas, it gives your mind almost that 3D experience because of how awesome they implemented it on this. That I was very surprised at what they did for this, let alone that this packaging, which was designed by the actual set designers, they actually designed this package to represent a piece of kind of like set from Crimson Peak in a book. And I really love how they did this. And I will tell you, it is one of the coolest Arrow Video limited edition releases that I own. I was very impressed with how they implemented this to make it appear as if it's a set piece from inside the movie itself. Now, inside here, it does open like a book. It has a tab here, it pulls out. Your actual big hardcover book, which is inside this, has a slip cover for it as well. Inside here, you also get posters and art cards, and then your 4K disc is in the back of the box, perfectly protected. Now, I did test the 4K disc. It is 100% region free. Talking about the audio, it does have a very immersive and very impressive DTS-X audio mix. It is incredibly strong, crystal clear, has incredible bass and amazing LFE. You can notice from the opening scene all the way to the end. It moves things around using your height channels and has amazing range for the entire runtime of the film. And it is one of the best sounding DTS-X audio mixes I have heard. I was very surprised at how good it was, and the audio sounds stronger on this 4K release than it did on the previous Blu-ray release, and slightly louder. Now, I'm not gonna say the audio is gonna knock your socks off as a massive upgrade. Now, I have some more good news for you. For the rough average bitrate, I did test it out for all of you, and it is extremely high, extremely healthy, and extremely strong, 84 megabits per second. I was amazed at how high of a rough average bitrate they did, which lends to why the image is so darn gothically beautiful to behold from beginning to end. Now, getting to my review score for Crimson Peak in this limited edition 4K Ultra HD release, this gets a marvelous 9.5. A must buy, you need to buy, add to your collection. You will be impressed with how amazing of a job they did with the Dolby Vision and HDR10 implementation, which brings this new 4K transfer to new heights and adds to the amazingly beautiful Gothic 4K image that you will behold in this set. And I will tell you, I never want to watch Crimson Peak on anything other than this 4K release. That is how good it is. I was really impressed with how good they implemented it. And if you have a high-end, professionally calibrated 4K display, you'll notice right off the bat how amazing that implementation of Dolby Vision HDR10, lights to darks, man, the lights coming out of the darkness, that the Blu-ray just didn't have that sharp, stunning depth in the image that the HDR brings to life. Man, I was very impressed with this and thoroughly enjoyed this. This is a must buy. I highly recommend buying and adding to your collection, let alone for, like I said, this awesome set, how they designed it in this book and how unique this is. This is a must buy limited edition set. Do not miss out on this. I guarantee you in a year from now, when this is sold out and gone, these will be going for several $100s on the aftermarket. Don't miss out on this while it's available right now. The book is an amazing read. And the way that they made this collectible set is just worth the price of admission alone on top of everything else. So what a marvelous job they did. Let me know in the comment section, have you seen this film before? Are you excited to get to experience it in this new 4K release now that you've heard my review score? If you decide you're buying this, make sure to use that link down there below. Now for another recommendation of another really good Gothic horror film, you'll want to check out Sleepy Hollow. I did that previous review here on this channel, and I can tell you the Sleepy Hollow 4K release is another stunning Gothic horror mystery 4K release that you must have in your collection. If you have not checked out my review and my exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison, That's available right now on this channel. You'll want to check out that as well. This is another recommended release. Next up, we have the last Kumite from 2024. The 80s, cheesy, kind of more campy, kind of throwback to action, kind of like blood sport style, kickboxing, survival, basically action adventure 80s style film. Now this was released in 2024. It does have a massive list of like 80 stars from back then. I will tell you though, it is slightly cheesier side of things. It's not super serious. A lot of the like action, humor, and things like that is more tongue-in-cheek almost. I will tell you it's enjoyable, but you have to go into it with a certain mindset. Now for this upcoming 4K release, this is a native 4K 2160p. It does have both Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it, and it does have some nice depth and detail in the image. Though there is some digital noise, blocking, slight banding, and the film grain does clump together with the digital noise to cause some more noticeable blocking in random scenes throughout the entire film. It does have a very heavy film grain presence when mixed with the digital noise can cause that blocking, and it does appear in several scenes throughout the film. So the image is more of an uneven viewing experience. It's not perfect. So because it's a lower budget film, some of those things come from that. But as far as the transfer goes, they could have gotten rid of some of more of that digital noise, which would have not caused as much of the blocking. Now this does have a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 audio mix on it. I will tell you the audio mix is kind of more a mixed bag as well. It has massive fluctuations. Sometimes the audio is really loud and the music's really quiet. Sometimes the music's really loud and the audio is really quiet. Sometimes it's more muffled where you can't hear as much of the audio. Sometimes it's louder, and it kind of goes back and forth. It's just not a perfect audio mix, but again, lower budget. So my understanding is that's probably where that came from, but it's still not an excuse as far as that goes. It's just that's what you're getting out of it. It's a more mixed bag, visual and audio quality. Now, show what you get in this. This is the limited edition SteelBook release. It comes with a little slipcover, and it does say Last Kumite with some embossing on it. I did like that on it. It does say it on the side here, and then it has obviously different artwork of some of the actors on the back of it. Then when you get inside here, you have your 4K disc and your Blu-ray disc. Both of them I tested 100% region free. Now I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate. This does have a high and healthy 77 megabits per second. So they did a good job with the rough average bitrate. It's just all of those other issues with the image are still present on it, and the audio issues. Now getting to my review score, for the Last Kumite on 4K Ultra HD, this gets a 7.7. That tells you where it ranks image and sound quality to let you know if this is something that you like 80s throwback films. You'll enjoy this if you like that kind of more cheesy, campy style when they're trying to replicate it. It doesn't have an exact 80s feel for me. I love 80s films. This one I feel like is trying harder to be a throwback 80s film. But if you go into it with that sense, you can have a good time with this. I do think the limited edition SteelBook though is very nice. But just keep in mind those issues that I shared with you, and then you'll go into it and know what to expect from this. Next up, we have American Hustle, the 10th anniversary 4K Ultra HD limited edition SteelBook release. Now this is one of those limited edition only Sony releases. They have no plans to release this as a standard set at all. They specifically said it's limited edition SteelBook only. Once this sells out, it's gone. Now for the 10th anniversary, this does have a native 4K 2160p with both Dolby Vision and HDR10 Master. That was supervised and approved by the original director himself, David O. Russell. I can tell you the 4K image is a dramatic improvement over the previous dull, soft, and grayed out Blu-ray release. I will tell you the previous Blu-ray release had a very dull and muted color palette, and overall was just not a beautiful Blu-ray transfer. This is very dramatic improvement. That HDR10 and Dolby Vision implementation is very nice. There's about a 5% variance between them, Dolby Vision being the one up on that. But I will tell you, colors on both of them, skin tones and everything come to life with vibrancy on this that was missing on the previous Blu-ray release altogether. Thankfully, they did an amazing job with this new 4K release for its 10th anniversary. The film is rated R. It does have some strong language, some very strong sexual content, and brief violence in it. I will tell you though, the film is highly underrated. It does have a very engaging story, an amazing cast, though I will tell you, with the film grain, there is some slight digital noise you will encounter that does cause some of the scenes to appear slightly softer. But even in those scenes, it's still a massive upgrade over the previous Blu-ray release in every area of the image, that even though there was some slight digital noise issues throughout it that mixed with the film grain, I'll still take this every single day over that previous Blu-ray release in every area. Now, another big treat Sony gave us is the brand new Dolby Atmos audio mix. I can tell you it's crystal clear, has amazing range, it even uses the height channels in very unique ways. Overall, the audio mix is another massive treat and massive improvement we get over the previous Blu-ray release, annihilating the audio mix in every area with this amazing Dolby Atmos audio mix. Now, showing you getting this, it does come in this very nice glossy SteelBook. Again, limited edition SteelBook only. There's no plans to release this ever again in a standard case. On the side, glossy again with the gold American Hustle. J-card comes off, has a very high gloss picture on the back that I really liked. And then when you get inside here, it does have a picture on the inside of the limited edition SteelBook, 4K and Blu-ray disc. 4K disc, 100% region free. Now, for this 10th anniversary release, they also included 15 never before seen deleted and extended scenes exclusive to this 4K release as well. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate. It does have an extremely high, healthy and strong 83 megabits per second. Another stunning job by Sony. Now, if you want a recommendation of some other really great crime caper films, you'll want to check out my Ocean's 11, 12, and 13 4K reviews. Those are some stunning 4K releases, and I can tell you those films are amazing and I really enjoy them. If you enjoy those, there's elements of this that I do feel like give you that same type of feeling, though this is more adult. There is a lot more content in this than was ever in the Ocean's films. So remember, this is R versus the Ocean's films are PG-13. But I will tell you, you'll want to check out those reviews if you haven't done so yet, because those were some amazing releases. Now, getting to my review score for American Hustle, this gets a superb 9.2. It's another must buy you're going to want to buy and add to your collection. Even though it had some of those very slight issues I encountered through it with some of the digital noise and things in the image that caused some scenes to appear softer, overall it still is a superb 9.2 that you're going to want to buy and add to your collection. Don't forget though, limited edition only. Once this sells out, it will end up being one of those that goes for several $100s, because Sony did say this is a very limited print run. For some of these smaller releases like this one, because American Hustle wasn't a massive box office film, they are doing limited print runs for these type of limited edition steelbooks. Next up, we have the 2020 film Gretel and Hansel. This is a horror thriller film that honestly, it's rated PG-13 and it's not too over the top, and I really enjoy the film. It's got some unique blends of horror and mystery, and it's done, in my opinion, in a very good way. And I will tell you, it's kind of more a light horror experience, similar to like what I talked about with Megan. If you haven't checked out that review here on this channel, it's more or less in line with kind of a more lighter horror experience, kind of like what you got with Megan. And I will tell you, this is one of those that I was excited they announced was coming out on 4K. Now, for this 4K release, it did get a new 4K transfer created from its original master. And they did a brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 master for this release as well. Now, this is one of those that the Dolby Vision is roughly 10% better looking than the HDR10 layer. I will tell you that has to do with the color implementation. They just have more variations between it and just have a better tone overall. Though both the Dolby Vision and the HDR10 are massive leaps and bounds better looking than the previous dull, drab, and very poor looking Blu-ray release. The previous dull, drab, and poor looking Blu-ray really just was, I honestly thought it was ugly. I did not enjoy the Blu-ray transfer. It did not look anything like it did in cinemas. And I will tell you, the Blu-ray was just really just not one of those I enjoyed at all. Thankfully, for this new 4K release, they did a lot of very good things that make this a very good looking with nice depth and detail 4K transfer. And in every single area of the image, it murders that Blu-ray. Honestly, you'll never want to watch the previous Blu-ray ever again when you see how amazing it looks on this. Brilliant whites, inky blacks, no black crush whatsoever. Makes this horror experience, especially with like the lights coming out of the darkness, like the house and the woods and the windows at night. Man, I can tell you, I've never seen it look, and I honestly think it even looked better on this than originally when I saw it in cinemas. That's how surprised I was with this 4K transfer. Now, we also got another nice upgrade in the DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 audio mix. It is cleaner and clearer sounding, it has better range than the previous Blu-ray, and I will tell you it is louder sounding. Overall, I noticed things, background noises, little things that I never noticed on the previous Blu-ray, I can hear much better on this. So it was a nice improvement for the audio mix that we got on this as well. Now, I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate. I am happy to report this has a shockingly high, healthy and strong 90 megabits per second, which lends to why it has such amazing depth, detail, and such a great looking 4K image that, like I said, it destroyed that previous Blu-ray in every single area. Now, getting to my review score. For Gretel and Hansel, a grim fairy tale in this 4K release, this gets an excellent 9.3. It's a must buy. You need to buy, add to your collection, experience this film the way it was intended to be watched. You get a bunch of new special features included in this that were never released in the previous Blu-ray. Along with all of those previous Blu-ray features, they're included in this with all of the new ones. The transfer, the Dolby Vision, the HDR10 are worth the price of admission alone. A very nice and healthy upgrade. I was very impressed with this and I enjoyed this immensely. 9.3 is a must buy. Excellent job, Shout Factory and Scream Factory. This is one of those that I very much was surprised with how it looked. How high and healthy that rough average bitrate. Wow, very shocked. Now, if you decide you're buying this, make sure to use that link down there below. Next up, we have Witch Story from 1989, the horror film. I can tell you this is one of those that is a native 4K and HDR10 master that was created from a new 4K scan and restoration of the 35mm original camera negative. I can tell you right off of the bat when I started testing this, it does have a lot of speckles, spots, blotches, little hairs. Overall, it's not a pristine looking transfer. I can also tell you the film grain has massive fluctuations. Sometimes it's very heavy, sometimes it's lighter, massive things with flickering and heavy inconsistencies. It does have digital noise mixed with the film grain that does cause some blocking. There is some banding. Overall, it's not a pristine or amazing looking 4K image. Now, I don't know the condition of the original film element, so I can't tell you how damaged or not damaged they were. This was my first time viewing this film. I can tell you though, it is one of those that's rough. It's just honestly probably one of the poorest looking 4K transfers I've seen from Vinegar Syndrome, which leads me to believe, since it got a new restoration and scan, that the original film elements must have been in horrible condition, because it still has a lot of issues with it and it's just not amazing to watch. There's so many things you notice throughout it and it's just kind of all over the place. Now, touching on the audio, that's another area where it does have issues. It's just highs, lows, it gets loud, quiet, hard to hear at times, some just background noise that's really loud sometimes where it drowns out dialogue, and just overall, it's by far the poorest looking and sounding 4K release that I've gotten from Vinegar Syndrome. And so, getting to my review score for Witch Story on 4K, this gets a 6.1. It's one of those that I was just kind of surprised. It just isn't amazing, and it's not one of those I can recommend as an amazing must-buy release. It's just not. And as always, I'm going to be upfront and honest with all of you, as all of you know. Even if something's sent for review just like this was, I'm always going to tell you if it's something you should buy and add or something you should skip. This is not one of those that's amazing. That's one of those that you're going to sit back and say, man, that sounded amazing, it looked amazing. It's just not. And so for those reasons, it gets a 6.1. Next up, we have Dr. Terror's House of Horrors from 1965. This is the classic horror anthology movie series. I can tell you this is one of those that I really enjoy, and I've had it on Blu-ray for many years. I can tell you though, the previous Blu-ray has a very heavy orange and yellow tint to it. Everything is just very orangey, yellow, overall color tones. It's just not one of those on the previous Blu-ray that the colors looked that amazing. Well, I am happy to report this is a native 4K 2160p, and it does have HDR10. And it was created from a brand new 4K restoration of the original 35mm camera negative. And it does have very nice filmic film grain from beginning to end, with some slight fluctuations and inconsistencies, but for a film from 1965, I was very surprised at how nice and filmic it was, that it lends to why it has such a very beautiful 4K transfer. I will tell you, compared to the previous Blu-ray release, gone is that heavy, very yellow and orangey look to it. Now skin tones on this look very healthy and more natural. Overall, the color grading in the new HDR10 master they did breathes new life into this and is the best way and best version I've ever seen of this film ever released, that it is that much of a massive improvement over the previous Blu-rays that's worth the price of admission alone because of what they did with this great 4K restoration. Now we also got a DTS HD Master Audio 2.0 audio mix. I am happy to report that was another nice improvement in clarity. They cleaned up a lot of the clicks and the hisses. It does sound better than the previous Blu-ray releases as well. There is some slight fluctuations in the audio mix where it gets slightly louder and quieter, but all of those like hisses and clicks, a lot of them were cleaned up on this that were present on the previous Blu-ray, so that was an improvement also. Now for this release, you do get reversible cover artwork. I did like that. Has a ton of special features. Now I did dive into and test out the rough average bitrate for all of you. Happy to report it has a healthy and strong 64 megabits per second. Lends to why it has such a nice image. I will tell you, for a film from 1965, I was very impressed with the quality of this. Compared to the previous Blu-rays, which is what I'm comparing it to, this is the best looking and best sounding this film has ever looked, and is a very noticeable improvement in every area of the image and sound. Now, if you want another recommendation of another classic horror film, you'll want to check out my review of The Horrible Dr. Hickok. That was another very good Vinegar Syndrome 4K release of a classic horror film that I very much enjoy. That review is available right now on this channel if you haven't checked it out yet. But getting to my review score for Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, this gets a terrific 9.0. It's a must buy. You need to buy, add to your collection. Vinegar Syndrome doing another outstanding job with their 4K restoration of a classic film. This is one of those that I highly recommend the film if you like classic horror films. There's a massive cast of who's at Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing. They are both present in this film, massive stars for the time period. I very much enjoy this classic horror film, and it is one you really need to have in your collection and check it out. You'll watch this year after year because it has such a good feeling. Next up, we have the Librarian Trilogy 3-movie collection in this limited edition box set from Via Vision. Now, this is one of those shows that I really enjoyed. There was actually a TV series. The movie trilogy, which was made for TV movies, is what they actually are. If you like things like Indiana Jones, kind of the Young Adventures of Indiana Jones TV series style, mixed with kind of like National Treasure and a more lighthearted, comedic, sometimes campy style, you'll enjoy these. I enjoy them personally, so I was excited when they announced they were releasing them on Blu-ray, and this is the only set of them that's been released. I mean, honestly, in the US, we've never got them before in HD, and these are full 1080p HD. I can tell you they are one of those made-for-TV movies with some slightly kind of more cheesy special effects that you will notice, but if you go into it, I always remember watching them, and they came out in 2004 to 2008, and I enjoyed them. So I was thrilled to find out these are coming out. Now, this is a limited edition set only. They're only printing 1,000 copies, and then it goes out of print. It does come with this really nice lenticular slip on the outside that I really like the lenticular on here. It does say includes art cards, limited edition. On the side here it says the Librarian movie collection. Then on the back it's numbered. Now this one is 478 of 1,000. It does come with all 3 films, including extended versions of the films that I've never before seen. It does come with behind the scenes special features, trailers. I did think that it was a very nice presentation, and it comes in a separate case inside here, which is your Blu-ray case. And inside you do get 3 Blu-ray discs. I did test all of them for you. They are all 100% region free. You won't have any issues playing these anywhere worldwide, which is very nice because these have never been released in the US, for example, on Blu-ray. So this is a very unique set. Now, I do recommend this Blu-ray set if it's one of those things you liked any of those series I was talking about. It's a fun time. You sit back. My wife and I really enjoy these. We like the National Treasure movies from Disney, and these basically give you a more lower budget experience, but have some fun style from it. It has the actor from ER in it. He was great in this. He went on to do later on other TV series. But this is one of those that I do recommend this series, especially in this limited edition set. I did love this hard casing and how it adds to the collectability factor of it. Next up, we have the Republic Pictures Horror Collection and the Sci-Fi Chillers Collection from Kino Lorber. The Republic Pictures Horror Collection ran from 1944 to 1946, and the Sci-Fi Chillers Collection is 1957 to 1966. Both of these sets are on 2 Blu-ray discs. They have multiple films in the collection, and both are very fun, enjoyable, horror and sci-fi films, both in black and white and in color. I will tell you, I immensely enjoyed both of these Blu-ray releases. They're not pristine, the image on them is not perfect, there's a lot of speckles, tears, film damage that are still present, but there are things that I grew up watching and I really enjoy them, and they're kind of more shorter sci-fi and horror experiences that are just really fun to watch at night. I don't know how to express it to you that I like to sit at night, you pop one of these in, it's kind of like watching an episode of TV almost, but of a horror story that it's all wrapped up in and of itself. They're very good. The sci-fi ones are very good as well. I can't recommend these types of things enough for folks that like to watch old classic TV series. These are kind of to supplement that. So if I get tired of watching some of the old classic TV series I'm watching, I put in one of these and watch these at night, and I'll tell you they're a good time. And my favorite out of each of these box set is Valley of the Zombies from the Horror Collection and Destination Inner Space from the Sci-Fi Collection. Those are the 2 standouts in these sets. I love things about zombies and about space, and I will tell you the zombie side of this is such a good, just, I don't know, to me nothing beats these old classic horror films and classic sci-fis. Both of these sets come very highly recommended. They're not too expensive, but you get to have them in your collection and go back to them year after year, and I like that they're included in a collection like this where you get multiple films in it instead of just one off by itself. You get a bunch of them in here to enjoy. I think that's a great job by Kino Lorber, and I'm glad these are released on Blu-ray. Now, it's extremely important if you decide you're going to buy or add any of these to your collection, always go down and make sure to use that direct Amazon sale link right down there below. That link down there never costs you, the viewer, a penny extra, but it is extremely important to the creation of all these videos. You see, I'm not paid by any of these studios and I'm not sponsored by any of them. The only way I can continue to test all of these, analyze them, create these reviews, and do all this time and work for all of you is through your support by clicking on those direct Amazon sale links down there below and joining my Collectors VIP Club. Collectors VIP Club only costs you $1 or $2 each month, goes drastically into the software, the testing, the computer equipment, the analysis, and all of this work I put into all of these exclusive videos. So if all of these reviews and videos I've put out here on my channel over the years you've enjoyed and they've helped you out, always make sure to go down and use those direct Amazon sale links down there below and join my Collectors VIP Club. It truly does matter to this channel, and that's the only way I can always do this full time to provide all of this content that I put my heart and soul into creating for all of you here every single week on my channel. I truly do appreciate every single one of you from the bottom of my heart that have joined my Collectors VIP Club and use those Amazon sale links down there below. Thank you so much. Make sure to start the conversation in the comment section below and let me know what of all of these massive 12 reviews I did, what of these you're excited for, what of these you're gonna buy, and what of these you're surprised and are gonna skip, because there was several of these that I didn't recommend. So let me know in the comment section below what of these you are excited for though. Share your excitement with me. I always love to hear about what of these movies you're excited for as well. As always, I truly hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new, early, exclusive, and exciting coming out very soon.